FastMCP 3 implements component-level authorization through decorator-based access control, enabling fine-grained visibility management for tools, resources, and prompts based on authentication status and OAuth scope requirements. This authorization model operates by filtering component listings rather than blocking direct access, allowing clients to discover only what they're permitted to see while maintaining execution flexibility. The upcoming code demonstrates how to configure a FastMCP server with 3 distinct authorization patterns, requiring basic authentication for tools, enforcing red scope requirements for resources, and restricting prompts to admin-level access. Each component's visibility will dynamically adapt based on the requesting user's credentials and permissions.
From FastMCP, import FastMCP. From FastMCP server auth, import require auth. Require scopes. MCP equals FastMCP, component auth server. At MCP, tool auth equals require auth. Def authenticated tool, SDR. Only visible to authenticated users. Return authenticated. At MCP, resource secret // data, auth equals require scopes read. Def secret resource SDR. Only visible to users with read scope. Return secret data. At MCP, prompt auth equals require scopes admin. Def admin prompt SDR. Only visible to users with admin scope. Return admin prompt content.
This code demonstrates component-level authorization in FastMCP 3, where different authorization requirements are applied to tools, resources, and prompts through decorator parameters. The pattern uses FastMCP's built-in auth checks, require auth, and require scopes to control visibility of components based on authentication status and OAuth scopes. The implementation shows 3 distinct authorization scenarios: a tool requiring basic authentication, a resource requiring a specific scope, read, and a prompt requiring an elevated scope, admin. Each component uses the auth parameter in its decorator to specify its access requirements. When these checks fail, the components become invisible in list operations, though they remain directly accessible without additional enforcement. This visibility-based approach is particularly useful for progressive disclosure in client interfaces, where unauthorized components simply don't appear in available options. The design choice to use component-level auth checks rather than middleware-based enforcement provides flexibility in access control granularity. While this approach effectively hides components from unauthorized users in discovery scenarios, it's important to note that it doesn't prevent direct access attempts. For complete enforcement, developers would need to implement auth middleware, as shown in other examples. The pattern balances simplicity with practical security needs, making it suitable for applications where visibility control is sufficient or where additional enforcement layers are handled elsewhere in the architecture. Let's break it down.
From FastMCP, import FastMCP.
Imports the FastMCP class from the FastMCP module, which serves as the main entry point for creating MCP model context protocol server instances.
From FastMCP server auth, import require auth. Require scopes.
Imports 2 authorization utility functions from FastMCP's server authentication module. Require auth for basic authentication checks and require scopes for scope-based authorization validation.
MCP equals FastMCP, component auth server.
Creates an instance of FastMCP with the server identifier, component auth server. This identifier will be used in MCP protocol handshakes to help clients recognize the server, but it doesn't configure any functional behavior or operational mode. The variable MCP now holds this FastMCP instance for subsequent operations.
At MCP, tool auth equals require auth. Def Authenticated Tool, SDR. Only visible to authenticated users.
Defines a tool function named authenticated tool that returns a string and is only visible to authenticated users. The @MCP tool decorator registers this function as an MCP tool with authentication requirements specified by require-auth, which enforces that only requests with valid authentication tokens can access it. The docstring indicates this tool's restricted visibility to authenticated users only.
Return authenticated.
Returns the string authenticated as the result of the function or method.
@MCP, resource secret / data, auth equals require scopes read.
Decorates a resource with the URI secret / data and applies scope-based authorization requiring the read scope. The resource will only be visible to clients with tokens containing the read scope, controlling access through component-level authorization.
Def Secret Resource, SDR. Only visible to users with read scope.
Defines a function named secret resource that returns a string and includes a docstring indicating it's only visible to users with read scope. The function signature shows it takes no parameters and returns a string type, while the docstring serves as documentation about its restricted visibility based on authorization scope.
Return secret data.
Returns the string literal secret data as the output of the function.
@MCP, prompt auth equals require scopes admin.
Decorates a prompt template with scope-based authorization requiring the admin scope. The decorated prompt will only be visible to clients with tokens containing the admin scope, controlling component visibility in list operations without blocking direct access.
Def admin prompt SDR. Only visible to users with admin scope.
Defines a function named admin prompt that returns a string type. The docstring indicates this function is only visible to users with admin scope, suggesting it's part of an authorization-controlled component in the MCP framework. The function itself doesn't show implementation details, just its signature and access restriction metadata.
Return admin prompt content.
Returns the string literal admin prompt content as the output of the function. This is a direct string return with no processing or context, serving as a static response for whatever component or endpoint this function belongs to. FastMCP3's component-level authorization uses decorator-based access control to manage visibility of tools, resources, and prompts based on authentication status and OAuth scopes. The pattern demonstrated here applies 3 distinct authorization requirements: basic authentication for tools via require-auth, read scope requirements for resources using require scopes read, and admin-level access for prompts with require scopes admin. Each component's visibility dynamically adapts to the requesting user's credentials, with unauthorized components simply not appearing in list operations rather than being blocked outright. The key insight is that this visibility-based approach provides progressive disclosure in client interfaces while maintaining execution flexibility. The design choice to use component-level auth checks rather than middleware-based enforcement offers granular control, but only affects discovery scenarios. Direct access attempts aren't prevented. This pattern balances simplicity with practical security needs, making it suitable for applications where visibility control is sufficient or where additional enforcement layers are handled elsewhere in the architecture.
The decorator guards its secrets like a dragon hoarding gold, showing nothing to those without the right key.